Yes, there we go. Welcome, everybody. Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It is March 20th, 2019. Presented, as always, by the Marijuana Times. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab to find this show. Also, a bunch of great articles there as well from a bunch of great writers. Today, we're talking about John Boehner being way late to the marijuana game, but better late than never. Also, another study that does its best to try to link marijuana and psychosis. And a little update on medical marijuana in South Carolina. All of that coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Make sure you grow safe and poison-free. You're not using banned pesticides in the state, that you're growing in. And, of course, don't use harmful chemicals on what you're growing, on things that people are going to ingest. In any case, grow safe and poison-free with Natureside, nature-side.com. Proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Go check them out. This first story by yours truly at marijuanatimes.org. Boehner is way late, but he is finally right. We've talked about John Boehner quite a few times, of course, joining the board of Acreage Holdings and being outspoken as of late. The need for states, at the very least, to be able to decide on their own marijuana policy free from federal interference. And basically the points I make in the article are the same points I've made about Boehner before. One, yes, he's way, way late. Yes, when he was Speaker of the House, would this change of heart have been more effective and better for the cannabis community when he had actual power in the federal government? Absolutely. But as I said, better late than never. A lot of people, especially older people, have come around to see the folly of their ways if they supported marijuana prohibition over the years, which John Boehner, of course, he was vocal about supporting marijuana prohibition when he was in power. A lot of these older people, they've changed. They've learned more about marijuana, and they've evolved their thoughts and their opinions on the issue over time. A lot of the main strike against Boehner, the main thing that people say about Boehner is that, well, he's only doing this for the money. And that argument to me has just never held weight. A former Speaker of the House can make millions in the corporate world, being a consultant, making speeches, doing legal work, the law profession, the legal profession, same thing. Consulting, speeches, law work, all that stuff. All these things Boehner could do and make millions of dollars. There's no reason for him to go into the cannabis industry. To think that because the cannabis industry is new and it's growing rapidly and has a lot of potential, that's only a place that a former Speaker of the House can make millions of dollars with relatively low effort. It's kind of naive to think. Why would he choose cannabis unless he really has had a change of heart and really does believe in cannabis? He wouldn't just lie and say that to make money off of cannabis when he could just go be a corporate consultant for somebody and make a couple $1,000,000 a year and hardly do anything. That makes no sense. The argument that he's only doing it for the money has never held weight with me because it's not a well thought out argument. To be quite frank, because I just dismantled it in 5 seconds. Why wouldn't he just go make money somewhere else where he's more comfortable? Why would he lie and get into the cannabis industry with other people who are who support cannabis? And why would he say he supports cannabis if he's just lying about the whole thing? It makes no sense. It's a lot of extra effort to make money when he could just make money in a place that he's comfortable doing something that he believes in. Yes, he's late, way late. It would have been better if he would have done something a long time ago when he was Speaker of the House. Yes, all those things are true. But he's here now, and whatever influence he can bring to bear on this issue and advanced marijuana law reform, I welcome it. I'm well aware of his past, but he's on our side now, and I welcome anybody that's on our side now, no matter how long it took them to get there. As long as they're helping now, well, they're helping. This next story from RollingStone.com. What's the real link between weed and psychosis? This is another issue we've talked about quite a bit here on the show. Studies trying to find a definitive link between marijuana and psychosis. In this study, more than 900 people were assessed in multiple European cities, all of whom had been diagnosed with at least one episode of psychosis. The researchers then asked the subjects if they had used cannabis when they started using it and how often they used it and what kind of strains they smoked, compared to against a control group of 1,100 healthy people, i.e. people who had not experienced psychosis. Researchers found that people who smoked marijuana every day were 3 times more likely to have a psychotic episode than those who had never tried the drug. Despite sensationalist covers definitively linking marijuana use to psychosis, such research has been extremely limited, says Normal Deputy Director Paul Armentano. The Lancet Psychiatry study is no exception. He said, quote, "This study is limited by an inability for authors to assess whether those most likely to express psychotic symptoms possess a shared vulnerability or predisposition to both cannabis use and psychotic symptoms," he told Rolling Stone, citing a previous review of marijuana and psychosis research that expressed a similar theory. In other words, it's possible that people who are more predisposed to symptoms of psychosis may be self-medicating with marijuana rather than the other way around. There is yet to be a study that shows a definitive link and a definitive causation between marijuana and psychosis, and it's definitely not for a lack of searching. Obviously, the new book by Alex Berenson we've talked about quite a bit, Tell Your Children the Truth About Marijuana, Mental Illness, and Violence, has garnered a lot of press. It's mentioned in this article. This article also mentions the book was criticized for cherry-picking data to support Berenson's argument against legalization. Even some of the studies that he cited, researchers from those studies have come out and said that he really mischaracterized what they said. So they continue to search for a link between marijuana and psychosis, and the causation link, continues to elude researchers. Wonder why that is. I guess we'll find out someday. This last story is from thestate.com. Out of South Carolina, medical marijuana advances in the South Carolina Senate. A key Senate subcommittee has passed the Compassionate Care Act, which will legalize marijuana for medical purposes in the state. The subcommittee, chaired by the bill's author, State Senator Tom Davis, a Republican from Beaufort, voted 5-1 for the bill. The one vote dissenting was State Senator Tom Corbin, a Republican from Greenville. The subcommittee added amendments to the bill that Davis and other supporters hope will soften opposition from groups like the State Law Enforcement Division, the SC Sheriff's Association, the SC Medical Association, and Attorney General Alan Wilson. An interesting list, a very powerful list, but a list of people and organizations who have no business deciding whether or not people can use medical marijuana or what medicine they choose to use. None of those people. The State Law Enforcement Division, the SC Sheriff's Association, the SC Medical Association, Attorney General Alan Wilson, none of you. It's none of your business whether someone in South Carolina uses medical marijuana. None. None. You have no say. You should have no say in this issue. It affects you in no way. You in no way face the consequences of the decision. You know nothing about the individual stories that would go into a decision like that. You have no business giving us your stupid opinion on what you think of medical marijuana. Your opinion is irrelevant, besides being useless and stupid. So, there you go. If I was blunt enough with that. The amendments include banning certain transportation workers from participating, working toward a better detection method for drivers under the influence, and tightening the definition of a debilitating condition. Davis, who was, this is the guy who's for the law, said this: "I want to thank law enforcement officials, business leaders, and physicians who worked with members of this subcommittee to ensure that this medical cannabis bill reflects the will of the overwhelming majority of South Carolinians, but to also draw a bright line against the recreational use of cannabis." Well, State Senator Davis, that's not your business either. Again, all the things I said about the morons before goes for you too. It's none of your business if someone decides to use marijuana or possess marijuana. It's none of your business. You face no consequences from those decisions. You know none of the information that went into those decisions. It's none of your business. You're against recreational use of cannabis. I don't care. I don't care. You're free to have whatever dumb opinion you want. You're free to have whatever opinion on the moral efficacy of the people that you've never met and never will meet. Have all the opinions you want. It doesn't matter. When it has the force of law, it does matter. I don't care what you think about recreational cannabis. I don't care what you think about medical marijuana. I don't care. Your opinion is irrelevant. My opinion is irrelevant. I just have to give it because marijuana's been prohibited. Marijuana prohibition is the sole reason I'm sitting here doing this. If marijuana was legal, I'd be sitting here doing strain reviews and bong reviews and stuff like that. But no, I'm here giving my opinion on cannabis because other people have opinions on cannabis, and their opinions have the force of law and are infringing on the rights of people. So I have to give my opinion. But my opinion, their opinion, it's all irrelevant. Whether or not you, sitting at home, or wherever you are right now, watching this on your phone, your tablet, or your computer, whether or not you spark up a joint in your house, whether or not you have a bag of plant matter in your pocket, whether or not you have a pot plant in your closet, whether or not you just sold some guy an eighth of weed, none of it is my business, and my opinion on it is irrelevant, just as irrelevant as the opinion of all these people. Your opinion on it is irrelevant. You have no business on what someone else is doing in their house. None. They're not infringing on the rights of anyone else. They have not committed a crime, and it's none of your business. It can't be clearer. Cannot be clearer. I'm going to change the name of this show to My Opinion on Cannabis is Irrelevant, and yours is too. If they're shorter, if we could fit that on a t-shirt, that would be great. Speaking of swag, makecannabisgreatagain.com. Go check it out. Get that swag. MarijuanaTimes.org. Check out the show. Thank you for checking out Cannabis News. Thank you for listening to me rant today. A little on edge. These people are kind of, they're ticking me off. You know, people feel so entitled to give their opinion on what you do in your house. They have no problem. Oh, here's my opinion on what you do, stranger, in your house. Here's my opinion on it. Who cares? Shut up. Just shut up. If all these people would shut up, I could shut up. But now, again, here I am, because of circumstances, force me into advocating against marijuana prohibition, which shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing. So here we are. Cannabis News, 5 days a week. Help spread the truth about cannabis with the show. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting and all of that. Thank you for everything, for listening to me and my irrelevant opinion and spreading it to other people. You're awesome for doing so. Thank you to Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. What, an alarm going off? It's unprofessional. But I'm not going to go back and re-record this whole show just because that alarm went off. You're just going to have to deal with it. I'm going to have to deal with it. Some things some weights we just have to bear, and that's one of them. Thank you to Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thank you to you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Boy, the wheels came off at the end. Right here on Cannabis News.